Welcome to Bling Talk, where today we're going to be discussing the top 6 most expensive Rolex watches of 2023. As the luxury watch market continues to thrive, Rolex remains one of the leading brands, known for its precision and craftsmanship. From the iconic Date to the highly sought-after Sky Dweller, we'll take a closer look at the top Rolex models that command the highest price tags. So, whether you're a collector, enthusiast, or just have a curiosity for luxury watches, stay tuned for an in-depth look at the most expensive Rolexes of the year. Let's get started. But before we go on, some of you might be wondering why Rolex watches are so expensive. So, Rolex watches are known for their luxury and high price tags. There are a few reasons why these watches are so expensive. First and foremost, Rolex watches are made with the highest quality materials and precision engineering. Each watch is crafted by skilled artisans using the finest metals, such as 18-karat gold and 904 liters stainless steel. They are also known for their high-quality movements, which are made in-house and are highly precise and reliable. Another reason why Rolex watches are so expensive is their brand reputation. Rolex is a luxury brand that has been around for over a century, and they have built a reputation for producing some of the finest watches in the world. This reputation carries a lot of weight in the luxury market, and it allows Rolex to charge premium prices for their watches. But let me avoid making this video too long. I'll make a video about why Rolex watches are expensive and tell you if I think they are worth buying or not, so subscribe if you want to watch that. Now, the watches. Number 1. Paul Newman's Rolex Daytona. Have you heard about Paul Newman's Rolex Daytona? It's not just one of the most expensive Rolexes ever sold, it's also the most expensive watch to ever be traded in the whole world. Can you believe it? The previous record was held by a 1943 Patek Philippe, which sold for a whopping $11 million in 2016. But this Daytona blew that record out of the water. The auction for it started at $1 million, but the first bidder immediately raised it to $10 million. Everyone in the room was shocked. And then only 2 bidders were left to fight it out, and the final price ended up being $17.8 million. Wow! Talk about expensive. Number 2. The 1971 Rolex Daytona Reference 626 Unicorn. Wow, talk about unique and rare. That 1970 Rolex Daytona that sold for $5.9 million in 2018 was one of a kind. They call it the Unicorn because it's the only one made in 18-karat white gold. Can you believe it? Most Rolex Daytonas from that time were made of stainless steel. But that's not even the best part. The story behind the watch is just as intriguing. Number 3. The Rolex Bao Dai. The Rolex Bao Dai is definitely one of the most well-known models out there. Based on the Rolex reference 6062, this beauty was first given to the last emperor of the Nguyen dynasty in Vietnam back in 1954. Get this, it was sold for over $5.1 million at an auction at Philips in Geneva in 2017. Can you believe it? And that's not the first time it's been sold at the auction either. Back in 2002, the Nguyen family sold it for $235,000, which was the highest price ever paid for a Rolex at that time. Talk about a valuable timepiece. By the way, make sure to subscribe right now for more watch content. Number 4. Anti-Magnetique Reference 4113 from 1942. Did you know that the 1942 Anti-Magnetique Reference 4113 is the oldest Rolex on our list? It's pretty cool, I know. It was sold for a whopping $2.5 million at a Philips auction in Geneva in 2016. And here's something even cooler. It comes in a pretty big case for its production year at 44 millimeters. Here's an interesting fact for you. This particular model was sold just 3 years before, in 2013, for only $1.16 million at Christie's. It's just another example of how the prices for rare Rolex models can suddenly increase. Pretty crazy, right? Number 5. Marlon Brando's Apocalypse, now Rolex GMT-Master. Wow, did you hear about that Rolex GMT that Marlon Brando wore in Apocalypse Now? It was sold at a Phillips auction in December 2019 and fetched a hopping $1.952 million. The event was called Game Changers, and it's not hard to see why with a sale like that. And get this, it was made back in 1972. Number 6. Jack Nicklaus Rolex Day Date. Did you know that in 1967, Rolex gifted a shiny yellow gold day date watch to none other than the legendary golfer Jack Nicklaus, also known as the Golden Bear? Well, he's pretty much worn it every day since then, can you believe it? And get this, he even wore it when he won 12 of his record 18 professional Major Crown titles. Talk about a good luck charm. Also, it's worth mentioning that the watch was often seen in photos when Nicklaus held the championship trophy high after his victorious games. And here's something interesting. That watch was sold for an impressive $1.22 million at a Phillips auction in December 2019. But here's the best part. All the proceeds from the auction went to Nicklaus Foundation, which works towards helping children in need all over the world. Now that's what I call making a difference. Well, that's all. I hope this video was helpful for you, and if it was, hit that like button.